couple little small things here and there. Gonna be doing the trail rated badge. Basically just cut a hole in a piece of paper, taped it all off. Got every single area blocked off, so there will be absolutely no overspray. So we're gonna go matte black with that. So here is how the trail rated badge turned out. Looks really good. I just did a bunch of pretty much a bunch of light thin coats to ensure that it didn't run or anything like that. I did go all the way around to make sure that every part was reached. Ended up adding more paper so that I would not get overspray as well. Got the taillights all taped up, just like how I normally do it. Got some masking tape, laid it around all the spots that paint will not be. Got all the red exposed. Just traced it out with a razor blade. Gonna be using this Rust-Oleum Instant. I've used it before. It's pretty good stuff. Hopefully the temperature outside and everything, it's a little bit chilly, so hopefully it'll lay down nice and smooth. So I've decided I'm probably just gonna go ahead and chop these pod brackets off and then just have the 50-inch brackets. So what I'm gonna do, I got my cutoff wheel, cut those off, and then I'm gonna take my flap disc and then sand it down nice and smooth. So I made a cut right here and all the way up to right there. Basically just bending it back and forth. Since these brackets aren't, you know, anything too quality, probably Amazon, eBay brackets, whatever. I do like how these brackets fit though. Alrighty, so pod is off, didn't have to unbolt it. As you can see where I cut to, and then that just bent off. So now I'm gonna take flap disc and just pretty much make that nice and smooth. Got the light bar all disassembled here. Basically, just had to take all these screws out. I ended up having to use like one of these little tiny Torx bits, taking all those screws out. So I was able to take off this metal panel, that one, and then this plexiglass cover there. But these are all the pieces, but those are gonna be painted here in a second. When I was taking the light bar apart, I noticed that I took one of these pieces off. One of these copper wires was actually loose, and I think it was just being held on by one of those pieces. So I'm gonna solder that really quick, plug it up to the Jeep, and make sure it works before I put all those pieces back in. Alrighty guys, got it soldered back up. Looks like it's working pretty good. Just flip the switch. Gonna give it a minute to kind of be on to make sure that none of the wires are messed up and it's gonna cause anything weird electrical wise. Alright guys, the light bar is done. Basically, what I did is you guys just saw how I put the reflector pieces back in. After all that was in, put the plexiglass in. I made sure that it was seated all the way in every corner so we wouldn't have any leaks. Also, these strips of metal, what I did is I started in the middle with one bolt, did the next one, did the next one, did the next one. Went back and forth basically until it kind of went all the way out. That way it's seated nice and evenly, so we will have less likely issues of leaking or any type of condensation that light bars normally have. So after I cleaned up the clear cover, it was pretty nasty with like bugs and stuff that had never been cleaned before. It looks like pretty much brand new now. Pretty self-explanatory stuff. Like I said, I already have the wiring for this light bar because this is the light bar the Jeep came with, so the wire was already ran for it. It's already got a fuse That's nice and tight on the battery. That one's good. Everything zip tied out of the way, off the motor. Got everything nice and clean right here. Just pretty much double checking to make sure that everything is gonna be cleared once the hood goes down. So basically just kind of went up to this corner right here under the bracket, all the way up to the bar. Give it a test run. Gotta do something about these switches. Probably gonna take this one out and then just use this one until I can find something better to do. Works pretty good. I'm gonna leave it on for a little bit to make sure the wires don't heat up or anything weird. So there's a light bar, guys. I'm not really 100% decided on it. Might take it off, might paint the brackets to color match. Really not sure. Guess we'll see what ends up happening, but definitely gonna be useful, that's for sure. Going through pretty much all the areas that have been covered up by stock parts. Pretty much, you know, there's a bunch of dirt built up over the years. It's pretty much just gonna coat everything simple green, kind of soften it up a little bit, give it a good pressure wash, get all those areas that I couldn't reach before, obviously. Stuff that's been sitting for a long time, the tough stuff that doesn't really want to come off. Simple green should do a really good job at being safe, getting everything pretty much loosened up.